Welcome back to Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. This is episode 36. Baby Hold Your Hand 2. I think it says Never Ending or something. Last time we had Shunsui versus Lilibaro. Not trying to go too far ahead and spoilery, but the next episode is called Shadows Gone, so I'm assuming we're going to deal with the after effects of Shunsui's Bankai there. So, but for now, we saw a little glimpse of, I'm assuming, Pernita breaking out of Mayuri's Bankai, so I have a feeling this is going to be a part 2 to that. And I said that, during the episode, I'm like, this can't be that simple. As fun as that episode was, maybe Hold Your Hand, it just can't be. I mean, it's the left hand of the Soul King, Ukitake. I'm assuming he's dead by now, but even he had to go against Yuhabaha and lose. So I feel Mayuri needs to pull out some more strings than just eating the hand. Anyways, let's get into the episode and see what happens. Third time we're hearing this fucking laugh. That's so funny. Yeah, multiply, yeah. Ew. Oh, shit. Why do you have a bow? Because technically it's not a queen seat. Oh. Oh, I guess he is. Yeah, sounds like Yuhabaha. Oh. Okay. Oh, shit. Dodge all the arrows now. Uh-oh. No! Oh, shit. Player 2 has entered the battle. No! Nemu, what the fuck? I was gonna say, that's the way the wording. Number 7. Oh. What? Oh, that's right. Sorry, he did rip his arm off. I forgot. It was so fast, everything was happening. I forgot he ripped his arm off first, and then she cut her own arm off because she got hit. Okay, Jesus. Are there multiple hands? Okay. Oh, there are multiple hands. Okay. So it'll we get the arrow, it'll snake its way back to the hand. Now that you said it, it's not going to happen. That's just how it works with Bleach. Oh. Well, isn't it the hand of advancement also? What's that kid doing? I know the girl. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Another guy, I think, right? So he created an artificial life, basically. Oh. Oh! No, because he loves you. I think it's a case of like, at first he was just making these experiments and, you know, experimenting on stuff, but now he's like grown attached to her. That's why he stopped calling her number 7 or whatever.
よって私はこの計画を眠り計画と名付ける。お前が食って寝て息をして日々何かを学び成長していく。その間、黒土隊長はずっと夢の中にいる。お前は隊長の最高傑作だ。進化しないなんてことはありえね
え。Damn!
この出力のままあと400秒持ちます。
そんなこと言ってるんじゃないよ。私がいつそんな命令を。
命令はありません。使命です。
違う。お前の使命は成長だ。
その成長をマユリ様をお守りすることでお見せできると考えます。
屈辱だよ。
What the fuck?
コンパク切削 6%。私のコンパクの 6% を削り、直接打ち込んで破壊します。
Bro. What? Never ending my dream. That's what the full title is. Okay. But is that gonna do it? She just blew it up into multiple pieces. Isn't it gonna just regenerate? Yeah. That's what I was afraid of. Xylabro, what the fuck?
まさか絶望したのか。愛憎生命体が死んだ。それの何が絶望だ。君は僕に言ったな。科学者にとって完璧とは無意味。完璧とは絶望。One of my favorite speeches in Bleach, by the way. 私は完璧を嫌悪すると。
Bro, this is fucked up. Where's
あの肉人形を殺すことで君のそのうぬぼれと怠慢を叩き潰してくれたのだ。僕ならこの状況全く笑いが止まらないがな。
Shut up.
全くもってその通り。科学者もどきの君などに私の怠慢に気づかされるとは滑稽極まる。
あ、
大脳だけは返してもらうよ。私に変わるとしびれるだろう。私に構わずさっさとネムを食べたまえ。お前が食べたネムの脳下垂体。
I was like, in her blood, is there some?
分裂限界を突破するための強制細胞分裂加速器官が埋め込まれている。包丁葉と直結させることで制御している。バカの君にもわかるよう簡潔に言おう。
But will it not just regrow? I guess this time it's for real, for real? We'll see. Oh.
なるほど。
Oh.
神経の残骸が生きていたか。
Oh.
逃げていなかったのか11番隊。やはり想像を絶するバカの集団だね。まあ、戦いの最中に手出ししてこなかったことだけは褒めてやるとするかね。部隊保護便がある。
Oh.
お前たちはそいつらと先に行け。問題ない。時間はかかったが。
Yay! We knew it. I'm glad.
寿命は大きく縮んだが、よもや命の恩人にそんなさじで文句も言うまい。
Their lifespans were reduced?
ありがとう。
バカな。
空いた瓶には私と、まあ、余分な瓶はザラキでも詰めておくといい。
Okay, so we got some sort of healing pod that'll just cure all wounds. Love that. Nemu? Oh, I was gonna say thank you.
ザラキ隊長、ありがとうございました。今日はえらく礼を言われる日だね。私はお前を超えたぞ、裏原キスケ。
Will it do something if it's in the pod with
お
him?
前の悔しがる顔は残念ながら想像がつかないが。
Ah! She has all the girls. Please. She's so stupid. So funny and stupid. Uh-oh. So... Bro, they do not trust his ass. He said, Okay, so... Unfortunately, this is one of the things I remember, is that Nemu is not the first. She's not the last. I was really hoping for, like, a moment of concession from Mayuri that, like, I think in his way he did confess. Confess? I was thinking concession and confession, sorry. I think in a way he did confess to himself that he does care for her as like a daughter and like as an actual being. You know, I think there is a level of, you know, as a scientist, he wanted to make the ultimate life form and all that. You know, he wanted to improve, and this was all just a science experiment. But then the reason he stops calling her Nemu, or he stops calling her Nemuri number 7, and he starts calling her Nemu, like affectionately, you know, it's a pet name, a nickname kind of thing. So like that shows a level of fondness. So, you know, they danced around it, but I understood. I got the message. I just wish there was like a moment, you know, there was a little bit of a moment like where he was stunned and Xylopero was just like on his shoulder. I really like that moment. It makes me, please tell me there's more Bleach after this, because I know there's like a Hell arc, I think. I haven't read that one. If there is some, I don't know, actually know if there is something out there, or like it's just a chapter or something, but I know there is more story to tell with Bleach. I think like the light novels or something, there's something about Xylopero in Hell. So, you know, we got a little tidbit here is like, hey, he's still, I think it was a figment of his imagination kind of thing. It was a, you know, the way we have like a conscience, you know? So I think that's what it was visualizing, was like, you know, for him being such an analytical person to be in a moment like that where it was just pure emotion, seeing I won't say his daughter, but seeing Nemu die, I think that was his way of like coping and, you know, rationalizing it was, well, I got to have this antithesis to me, Xylopero, kind of like, I don't want to say speak it out, but, you know, it helps him process those emotions by having that thought of him. So I don't think Xylopero was real there, but I do think they're, you know, the fact that they include him was cool, and there's a tease there that, you know, his presence can still be in this world. Because yeah, he was one of the most difficult Espada, and in a way, you know, just because of his he went up against the wrong person, but, you know, his regenerative powers and his phoenix-like ability, you know, all of his weird abilities, and just, anyways, I think there is more story to tell if they want to with him. So I like that they did tease that. Interesting seeing the backstory with Nemu here, and yeah, you know, it was nice to see a different side of Mayuri. You know, somebody who isn't just the diabolical. They're really going all over the place with him. You know, last time we saw him, he was just this crazy evil person, and then this son is like toned down because he's just the caring father. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about that. Pernita being an actual Quincy has some interesting implications. You know, it makes sense because the Soul King is everything, right? So why wouldn't he be part Quincy? And if, you know, Mimihagi is like one thing, then Pernita can be another. I get all that, but also it's interesting because I didn't really call it out, but, you know, I have seen some discussion about Pernita being, there was a flashback episode in like season 2 or core 2 where Baha and Ichibei are talking, and, you know, Ichibei's kind of like, hey, you live over there, everything's cool, and we'll leave you alone. But then obviously Baha is like, no, we're not gonna fucking go quietly into the night, and they have their little sparring match. So we saw the arm there. I don't really know. It just happened so quick. I don't understand really what happened, but I guess Baha took the arm from Ichibei at that point. With that in mind, I was like, okay, so maybe he abducted and kind of brainwashed Pernita into being Quincy or whatever. But then they have this whole part about, I don't think we're going to get more necessarily. I think this is a pretty final thing for Pernita. But, you know, we have this whole discussion about Pernita kind of evolving. And I think it's supposed to mirror Nemu, obviously, her growth. And, you know, Mayuri calls out a couple times, like, you shouldn't be able to do that. How are you doing that? We had the parallel of Nemu and Pernita both kind of like evolving past what we've seen before. But I think as far as Pernita goes, his explanation is more of, again, he is supposed to be the idea of advancement. So I think that kind of includes evolution, growth, that kind of stuff. Whereas maybe Hage is just stillness and, you know, I don't want to say stagnancy, but, you know, it just makes sense in a way how Pernita can kind of grow and, you know, become more sophisticated and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, just even the action scenes in this episode were really cool. You know, Mayuri and Nemu kind of tag teaming and talking over the plan. We have confirmation that the zombified Soul Reapers are all fine now. Love that. Which makes sense, you know, if he has a way to to take over other zombies, there's a way he can like unzombify them and like restore their life. So we have these magical healing pods now, which is why we can get Zaraki his arm back probably. But yeah, he's in the pod with the brain. So I wonder if there is like supposed, you know, I think he's just holding on to the brain to like make a new one or something. But I wonder if there is a level of they're gonna kind of like the Fly, you know, they're gonna merge together in this pod, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's interesting if they would go that direction. I don't think they will, but that was my immediate thought of, well, you have two life forms in a sense in the same pod. What is that gonna like combine them somehow, or is the brain just gonna be a brain after the end of this and he's gonna heal up? And then at the end we have all the Quincy's going at each other. It looks like, I don't know if this is the new power, but the foot soldiers are all part of Yuhabaha and like those eye things. So it makes me wonder, were they always part of Yuhabaha? It kind of makes sense, you know. This is just sort of a again, an evolution of his ability now that he has the Soul King's power, is that it's literally part of him, whereas before maybe they were more just lifeless bodies kind of that he gave powers to, because we know he is the father of all Quincy's and all that, so he's given everyone powers basically. We've seen that multiple times. But yeah, it just makes me wonder, like, is this a new development, or is this just like something we hadn't known before because it's being divulged to us now that things have progressed? You know, it's hard to explain, but was this always the case, or are they stronger now in a sense? I don't know. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get the Quincy's infighting, which is interesting because it looks like the next episode is gonna be, again, my theory is it's gonna go back to Shunsui and what he's doing. You know, maybe Little Baro's still alive. I don't know. I hope not. You know, we have that. Shadow's gone. I guess the Quincy do have shadows also, but like, I don't know. Anyways, interested to see where we go. I'm curious how many episodes there are this season. 1, 2, 3, 4 more, it looks like. So, okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end of the season. Anyways, your thoughts in the comments below. Correct me if I'm wrong about things, obviously. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.